Alright, you guys are not going to believe the deal that Michael got on some games today. He's got 3 boxes full of them back there. Games, consoles, all sorts of stuff. So he's going to go through and show you guys what he picked up today once we get to the store. My parents have been working incredibly hard on their little store. It's seriously coming together. Like, okay, well, first of all, one thing that he did recently was add his own AC in there, and he had to install a plug down here. He's going to do this in our unit too so that we can keep it cold, because right now it's just way too hot. They installed all of these shelves. They got some U-line shelves up in the middle for people to go through. They got hangers for clothes. They got baby hangers over here, and this is the newest addition that they put in. This is their register counter. Very nice, very nice. Just a little preview before we get into actually showing you guys what's in each of these boxes. These are the 3 boxes we're working with.
They don't look so good from being in a box, do they?
No, they don't look so good from being in a box, quite frankly. Also, there's this bag full of cables and stuff for the consoles in there. But Michael will go ahead and break down what's in these actual boxes, because there is an incredible amount.
So a lot of this needs to be cleaned. He assured me that a lot of this works console-wise, and we bought this with the impression that they don't. So we're just going off of the price of what we expect the games and the cards and other stuff that we got would go for. We have 2 PlayStation 1s, an original Xbox, many controllers for both of those consoles, 3 Game Boy Colors, a Nintendo DSi XL 25th Anniversary Mario Edition. We have some old Game Boy Color games that are vintage. There's so much in here. I don't even know. I mean, there's even like flashlights and stuff. They don't work. But this is going to be a lot of fun to go through.
So for PlayStation 1 games, we've got Tetris, Gran Turismo, Tomb Raider, Golden Nugget, Real Fishing, Crash Bandicoot Warped, and VR Golf 97.
He said he wasn't so sure if this worked. We'll go ahead and test it out and find out, but this is freaking old.
And what do we have here?
This is an old Nintendo gun. I don't even know if this was for like, I don't know if this is for like Duck Hunt or if this is for just any game that's a shooter. I never had this with my PlayStations as a kid, but he doesn't know if this works. I don't know what this is worth. We're just gonna set this behind the counter to see if we can work on it.
And we've got a box started for things that we need to look at closer. Let's see, we got some cables. What is that for?
I don't know if this is like an auxiliary cable or something. I don't know.
Maybe a charger for one of those DS's? Possibly.
I literally have no idea. We have a lot of research we gotta do apparently.
So we've got an RFU adapter for use with the PlayStation. I'm gonna be straight with you, I don't really know what that means, but we're gonna set it in here temporarily until we figure it out. This stuff is before my time.
That's a lot of spider.
Get out of there.
Okay.
Got a PlayStation controller that's incredibly dusty.
Dusty, dirty, kind of sticky. Needs to be cleaned.
All of this needs to be cleaned. But did you share how much you got this set for?
Got this for $100, and it already doesn't seem like it's much, but I promise it's a lot. This is gonna be a big video.
So we ripped out the gloves because these cables are very dusty and gross. And we've got the 2 PlayStations in there. He thought there was just 1 PlayStation in there. I didn't realize there was 2.
That makes sense. Okay. Cables. Actually, I think that's just going to probably be the cable box for right now.
Cables, controllers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Until we can go through them. Okay, so these are the PlayStations. Michael can give you a better preview of those because I have no idea anything about these consoles whatsoever.
One is in arguably better condition, at least in terms of color. That's sticky. That can be cleaned. The eye looks okay. The thing that actually reads the discs. This one's just really sticky, so we might have to go through and clean certain ones. Truthfully, I didn't buy anything because of the consoles, because you can't tell right off the bat if a console works or not, and especially if they don't look good. I bought these because of the games. I do remember
How's the inside of that one? Dusty.
These probably need to be cleaned. They probably need to be worked on.
I'll set them over maybe right here for right now.
Just for right now.
How do you close those?
They're supposed to close. They're sticking, so.
Oh, okay. The DS games and I think the Game Boy games that are in there are going to be what really pulls all this together.
Yeah, not to mention we bought cards. A lot of the cards being in pretty good shape, actually, even for how old they are. This one is from 2006, and the actual case is all scratched up, but the card's in really good shape. So this was the first thing that I saw.
We put these guys over in our Pokemon card area until we get those sorted. Okay, so what do we have here?
This, and I think this is new, the stickers are still in there. So this is Band Hero for the DS. What's cool about this one is that you actually use the Game Boy slot, so you couldn't use a DSi, you had to use like a DS Lite or the original DS. You plugged it into that so you can hold the DS sideways and you can tap on the buttons while, you know, being able to still play.
That's awesome. And is there a game in there for it, or is that just a standalone piece?
Yep.
Wow, that's
and
great.
It looks like, I never had this, but it looks like these might be extra buttons too. I think these might be for drums, so you put this around the DS bottom, and then these are like drum pads, depending on what one you play.
So that's definitely a good thing to have pulled out of here.
This thing
and that looks like it's in much better condition than the PlayStations were. Stickers,
inserts. This is basically like new, if not new. So it's not new because we opened it, but it's like new. So this was the example of something that's good. Not everything's going to be perfect here, but we also have a lot of interesting stuff. This needs to be cleaned pretty good, but this is the 25th anniversary DS Lite. Definitely needs to be cleaned, but buttons are still clicky.
Hinge is working.
Hinge is working good. It's not going to be alive. I would be very surprised if it was alive. I do have an extra stylus for this. We got it in our other case.
Do we have a charging cable for that?
We needed a charging cable for both of them, but I think we have some extras, so we will check in a little bit. Okay. 2 DSIs now.
Woohoo! That's great.
Open that one up. That one might go for a little less, assuming it all works, just because of some more scratches on it.
So what kind of DS games are we looking at here? So while he is getting our little handheld game selection set out, this is one of the Pokemon promotional cards. Very hefty. We're gonna have to look into this more though, because we don't know anything about these. Okay, so what are we working with here?
We have quite a bit of DS games, quite a bit of Game Boy Color games. One of them we don't even know what it is. We'll find out because we have some DS details.
Oh, you should open that guy up because there was something interesting in there. We have some old Game Boy Color games, Harvest Moon specifically. Then was there anything in this guy right here?
No, well there was, but it's not games. It's this.
Okay, so in that little case right there, we have King Kong, Madagascar 2, whatever that is, Animal Crossing, and Golden Sun for the DS. We also have another Game Boy game, some Game Boy Colors. These guys are going to need cleaned and tested because we have no idea if these work or not. But there's also all of these games right here. So, quite a few little handheld games in that lot. So, we figured out what this game is. The game with no label. It's Star Wars. I don't remember which Star Wars because I'm not a big fan of them. Force Unleashed. That being said, I doubt this game is worth anything to start, but we're gonna maybe see if we can get a new label on it and throw it out there for people to get. So went ahead and looked up some of these games. I haven't looked up all of them, but I did look up Harvest Moon because I know that's a pretty popular one. This one is listed on eBay right now for 65 bucks. So if this is working, that's great. That's a really awesome thing to have in the store.
Right now, if a couple things are working. Except for no, we can't. You told me it's triple A.
We also looked up Animal Crossing for the DS. This one's listed at 25 and Golden Sun is listed at 30. So we do have a little selection starting here. Michael's making a deal with somebody else right now. They're going to be stopping in to drop off an Xbox 360. Also, that is another one of the things in this box that he's going through.
An Xbox One. Or an original Xbox.
He has an original Xbox down in here that he's getting ready to get to. A lot of these games are going behind the counter. Okay, these games right here are in awful condition. The DS games and the Game Boy games are more than likely going to be making up for what we spent on this lot. So if things can't work or can't be restored, then that's not going to be a really big deal. We are hoping that this console right here works, just because that'd be a really great thing to have in the store. But most of these games right here are going to need to be buffed and potentially thrown away if they are in irrestorable condition. Okay, so the good news is that we have a working original Xbox, and it turned on and it's working great. Now, we're gonna see if we can actually find a game that is in awful condition and see if it will run a game that is in awful condition.
I want everything to sell.
Where was the one that was shattered?
No, I don't want to do that. That one probably is gonna go in the trash.
Here, we know this Crash Bandicoot one was not good. Here, that one was pretty scratched. Then Michael's gonna have somebody coming in here in a minute to make a deal.
smudgy, scuffed.
We'll see how it does. If it can run it, I'm going to be incredibly impressed and wonder why this is not like prime.
I was wondering, I didn't even know where well, we also got GTA San Andreas, and actually not in too bad shape compared to the rest. Oh,
and what game did you say? Well, if it wasn't in bad shape before.
San Andreas. We will need a controller.
Is that not one right there?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can.
Rumble packs and stuff. I'm not super sure. Why would they look odd? Original Xbox controller. Oh, they might need a adapter thing to plug into, which is weird. I forgot that's one thing with these is you need like a really specific thing to plug them into.
Well, we've got a Game Boy Color case that I'm going to be using to put that Harvest Moon in case it is working. All right, Michael has found an adapter. Let's see if things are working.
Do I have to hold the button down or something? There might be more to this. This is an old thing.
Okay.
Is there more I need to plug in?
I think it should just be working.
Let's try another
Hypothetically.
controller.
Is there another controller in there?
There's 3.
Oh, okay. News is he found a working Xbox controller. Xbox cannot recognize the disc, which means that disc either needs to be buffed or is entirely out of commission. This is the pile of games that we are going to need to go through and refurbish. There's quite a few of them, obviously, and some of them, the cases are nasty.
That is slightly better, but still pretty grooved up, because this could probably get clean.
And I'm going to assume if that was the last game in there, that it can read that game, hopefully. I wonder if you can still get Xbox Lives for these devices.
I don't know.
Let's go. Hey! Okay, so it can read discs. We just need it to be a disc that actually works. So this is going to become our processing shelf. All of these need to be buffed. We're going to be getting a disc buffer, and then we're going to be additionally offering disc buffing services to the town just later on once we don't really need it to process things. But all of these are Xbox games that are not cracked. They're just really scratched up and need processed. We got 2 of these Game Boy Colors and a Game Boy Pocket. This one we for sure expect will need some work because the battery prongs are looking a little questionable. Honestly, it's just in the worst condition out of all of them. And then I can show you over here, we've got all of those cables we need to go through. Michael's cleaning up that Xbox. That is working. We're going to be testing the PlayStations here in a minute. And then we have all of these Game Boy games. Well, Game Boy Color games. This one's going for $65, which is just incredible. I have not looked at the rest of them, but that alone made up a huge portion of what he spent today. And then we have these we know are reproductions, and those are going to be sold at a discounted price. We got all of these. These are all either games we had on hand for the DS, or I think all of these ones over here are ones we got in the slot today. Then down here you can see the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Pocket we expect will probably work, but we'll need to test once we get the batteries to test them. And the DS, is that a DSi?
DSi XL.
Okay, well he's cleaning up the one from today, and we will have another one down there as well that we've picked up, and we picked up a Switch Lite the other day. Well, he picked up a Switch Lite the other day. He's in his element right now because I hate making deals and negotiating, but he is really great at making deals and negotiating.
Scratches.
Yeah, that one has some scratches. Anything that has a little bit of cosmetic wear is going to be sold at a discounted price or fixed before it actually goes out on the floor. But that's going to depend on, how severe it is. If it's just some scratches, it'll be a discounted price. If it's something like, we'll say the Game Boy Pocket doesn't turn on or something, obviously we will want to try to see if we can make that work. But yeah, otherwise, we're pretty happy with this little haul he did. I think out of all the Xbox games, there's only 5 that I just straight threw away because they had cracks in them. Just had a guy come in and take a look at the store and sell us a packaged Xbox 360 with all the original stickers and everything, so that's going to be going in our console area, and it also has the Kinect. And Michael found a gem of a game in this lot that he picked up today, so even if those consoles over there end up not working.
50, 55, 65, a lot of 40s. 40 seems like to be the middle dollar, but it can go as high as $65.
The games alone, absolutely way overpaid for what you bought today.
That's the reason I was like, even if the consoles are broken, this is good.
Rune Factory.
This one
I don't know anything about that one. Some Harvest Moon. We all love Harvest Moon.
I used to own this game. This unlocked a little
Harvest
memory
Moon.
that I...
Actually, I had this game at one point, and I've bought this game twice, and now we were buying it for the store. And another Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, out of that entire lot, well, we're still testing the other ones, we have at least one working Game Boy Color.
Hang on, let's try it again. I guess volume up is down, which is odd. Oh, so we might have a speaker issue.
But it turns on, and that's a good start.
I guess. Speakers are easy to replace.
Oh, cool. This says there's a number for Nintendo's official authorized repair center. Okay, so Michael just demonstrated the fact that there is in fact sound in here, but it's really quiet, so it needs a new speaker. Next, we're going to be testing this Game Boy Pocket.
Mess the contrast of whatever lighting situation you're in. Now I want to see if volume works on this one.
We got working volume and a working Game Boy Color, or Game Boy Pocket, my bad. Let's see if it runs this Game Boy Pocket game.
This is a Game Boy Color game. I'm not so...
All right, well, we have a working Game Boy Pocket. We have one more Game Boy Color back here we can test, and this is the one that we thought was going to need some extra work. So we'll see if it actually needs some extra work or if it still works despite this absolutely disgusting battery compartment. Moment of truth. And wait, it looks like it tried. Hey, we actually have two working Game Boy Colors, a Game Boy Pocket. I mean, obviously these need cleaned up, and this guy needs a new battery case cover, and this guy needs to be replaced for the other one too. But I gotta say, I think that's a win. What do you think? That's incredible. That's so freaking cool.
Right there, ain't it?
That is amazing. These obviously all need cleaned up, and I didn't test the volume on this one, but we'll get to that. Overall, I'm very, very happy with this little lot you picked up. That is incredible. What the heck? All right, so right now what we're doing is fixing and cleaning things up. I was able to get this Game Boy Pocket looking pretty nice. Got rid of a lot of the gross stuff on it, and it works fine, so this is going to be our little test subject for some of our other games. Michael's over here fixing the hinge on this PlayStation 1 because you guys saw that they weren't closing after he opened it. And how he did that, there's a little spring in here that, actually, yeah, he can go ahead and show you. That little spring in there is too long, and so it wasn't pulling it back to where it needed to be, so he propped it up a little further up, and now it opens and closes properly, which is great. And then the other thing that we're working on, other than cleaning up and fixing the consoles if they need it, is cleaning up, taking all of the old price labels and stuff off of these guys, and testing everything. So basically anything on this shelf over here is not going to stay here, but this is where we're putting games and things as we test them and get them all cleaned up and make them look nicer than they do, because we want to make sure that the stuff we're putting out in the store once we open is in the best quality that it can possibly be. I think my favorite game out of this entire lot he picked up today is this Harvest Moon. Not because I played it, but just because I know how popular Harvest Moon is, and this is one of the more expensive games out of today's lot. That alone covered 2/3 of what he spent on these games. And it looks like, well, we'll be testing the PlayStation 1 here in a second. This Xbox right here works. We picked up this packaged Xbox 360. We have the people that used to be working out of this unit in here. They stopped by to let us know they have a lot full of games and Xbox and DS related materials. They have an Xbox One, so we're gonna see if maybe we can pick that up off of them today. And that should close up our Xbox offerings here in the store, and then maybe they'll have a DS that we don't have. We're gonna have to look and see what they have. But the point is, people are coming to us now knowing that we're buying things like that, which is great because we're getting things at a great deal. And I mean, I think every time Michael makes a deal, I'm like blown away by how good of a deal it is. And today, I think was his best deal yet. Are you proud of yourself?
I suppose I really need scissors.
I'm very proud of him. He's doing fantastic. I was never really interested in the buying collections and reselling and stuff, but he ends up, I guess he's got a knack for it because he's made some amazing deals.
Alright, so we got the PlayStation 1 going, and right now we got it as cleaned up as it probably can be, and it will not take and snag anymore. Now we just need to make sure it can run some of our games, and a lot of our games were scratched, so we have to go through some of them.
Did we try turning it on?
The PlayStation works. I have not turned it on yet. I just want to grab the game. I want to grab a game that I care about, which...
And the light came on. That's a good sign, right?
Yes.
I know nothing about PlayStations, but I'd like...
my Tetris game?
Hey!
That is my freaking childhood.
It is sitting up here. in this pile up here where I can't reach it. I think it's on the bottom. Well, that's great. That means we have a working PlayStation and a working Xbox original in that lot. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty great. I think you did great with this. So let's see if it reads discs, because that'll be the real truth teller.
This one's in awful, awful, awful condition.
Is there a way to clean it up?
Yep.
Okay.
Until we get a buffer.
Michael's poor shoes. Brother, ew.
And then for old, where is it? Why is it way over there? Did I put it in backwards?
Okay, well, it turned on. He's got to fix it up. Okay, so we have... Well, okay, we have a great looking PlayStation controller right here that he's about to test out, and the PlayStation works now that it is assembled correctly. So he's gonna get an opportunity to play one of his favorite games from his childhood, while I am over here removing this label from a game that had no actual readable label on it. It is Star Wars. We mentioned that earlier. And I'm also taking and using isopropyl alcohol to clean up the backside of these so that they read correctly, because all of these read correctly now, but better safe than sorry. I've picked us up lunch, or made us lunch, and then brought it in here. Michael is testing a couple different consoles right now that were brought by. So far we have an is this an Xbox One?
Yeah.
Excuse my lack of knowledge. We have an Xbox One, a DS Lite, and he's testing both of these. These were brought by a couple friends, and we're basically just going to be giving them an offer if we decide that it's worth our money, or giving them an estimate of what it might be to fix. We also have an Xbox in here that we're going to be looking at, and a couple other things that they mostly just kind of wanted to know more about. Looks like there's another Xbox in there.
Alright, well that's good enough for me.
Let's see, Nintendo game, cartridges, 3DS game, a couple other things, so if we decide to pick any of this up, we'll let you guys know what we get. We're testing our Wii, and by that I mean we get to casually play Wii games for fun.
Just take and play games.
We just realized we have our favorite game to not play together, and we're gonna play it together.
People are gonna show up there and be like, is this a store? Like, not right now, get out of here.
We don't like playing it. Well, Michael loves playing this game. I don't like playing this game with him though, because he likes to purposely kill me. Get out of my way. Get out of my way.
I'm having problems with that. Oh, hate it.
No!
Where am I?
No! Okay, we're going out here. You're an awful person. We're gonna give you guys a little rundown. Michael, what was our total that was spent today?
We went to a yard sale for $100, and we got a large majority of the stuff we're going to be showing you. And I guess technically we have a couple other things we're going to be picking up, which is going to be another $120. So it comes out to $220. But let's start with the things we got for. So we got ourselves basically a once-used Xbox 360, almost new in box. It's more of like an open box. We have everything that Callie cleaned up over here. The pop figures we did not get. We did get this Game Boy Pocket though, which is going for a really good amount on eBay. It works perfectly. It's in great shape. And then we have a lot of old Game Boy Color or Game Boy Classic games. I think all of these are the colors. These are some of the normal classics. A lot of those Game Boy games.
We got about half of those DS games you see pictured there, and all of these ones right here. There's some really great ones.
PlayStation 1, absolutely great shape. Got all the cables put together. Xbox original, great shape. All the cables put together. We got. What else did we get?
Didn't we get some? Did we get some PlayStation games the other day, or was that today? I think that was the other day. We've got an Xbox One right here. We've got an Xbox original. And this one's actually in better condition than the other one. We picked up a DSi and there's a DS Lite in this box that we also picked up alongside this, and 2 Xbox 360s in there that need a little bit of work, but we have to get the cables so we can start testing those things.
I forgot, yeah, we get the things that's in there too.
We tons of controllers in there.
We negotiated for the 120, the things that are on this table. This is what we wanted to keep, and they basically said to just keep everything, which we had a feeling could happen. We weren't really worried about it because this is legitimately all that we wanted, but they said we could keep the rest. So, like Callie said, yeah, there's another DS in there. We also did get technically all those games.
Oh yeah, all of these.
And
Game Boy Colors are really the awesome thing here on the shelf that we got, and then we also got that Game Boy Pocket that we showed you guys, and if we can get these into fully working order, because it seems like there may be a small issue with one of the speakers on one of them, and I think in all, they probably just need cleaned up, and then...
That one you cleaned, and that one's working great. It's just the speakers. So speakers might just be bad on them, but we're going to get new speakers just to be safe.
And then there's also this PlayStation 1 over here, and this one, he's in the process of taking apart, cleaning up. He's going to fix the hinge on this one like he did for the other one. Overall, I mean, I think he did some amazing deals today. He just pretty much beefed out our console section.
And we got everything up here. This might not be what we end up having because we did find a couple games that were either too heavily scratched or actually had like cracks in them, but we kind of got everything with the impression that a lot of things wouldn't work, and so far all of the consoles have worked. And I was anticipating that the cards and the DS games would make up for the total price. So the fact that anything has worked so far, we're already in the plus. If any of those work, we're in the plus even more. So.
And he has talked about, I think he mentioned at some point in this video, the idea of getting a buffer for the store, specifically so we can restore these discs up here, but also just to have as a tool in the store later on, and also because once the store is open, we can provide buffing services to the town. Just because this is a retirement community, a lot of people still use discs, and maybe it's not something that will be used frequently, but if we can use it as a tool on our back end and provide it as a service, we might as well. And yeah, overall, I think he closed some amazing deals today. Right now, and throughout the day, we've basically just been testing games, cleaning consoles, really getting down to the dirty parts, and so far that's going great.
I will say that's been really cool in this just last week. Like, not only have both me and Callie on our day jobs been working a lot more, so technically our time has been shaved down quite a bit, but my favorite game console is a Nintendo DS, and even though we've been more busy recently, we've still managed to somehow gather 2 DSs over there, 1 DS over here, 1 DS in the box.
A Switch Lite.
All kinds of stuff. I mean, we went from having no consoles to basically, it was like Callie said this morning, we originally were talking about how we wanted to have 3 main consoles that we started with before opening, and just in these last week, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and that's if I'm not forgetting it. Oh, 12, 13, 14 for the Game Boy Colors and Pop.
And all of this happened, like, within the last week, you guys. Like, our console section we did not expect would be...
We just popped off.
Like, I don't even know how that happened. This guy makes some amazing deals, and I'm so happy he does, because I have no concept of negotiating whatsoever, so he's great at it, apparently.